Wimbiz Annual Conference 2024, the 23rd of its kind, is yet another platform where women in business and management are gathered to be celebrated, empowered, and inspired to do more. The hook for this year: dream, dare, and do. It's to fire up the I can do spirit in every woman, regardless of your level or category. So Crystal Vision is here at the event to cover every aspect of activities. Conference delegates are expected to explore and network. I am Grace Komolafe. The 23rd Annual Wimbiz Conference brought together thought leaders, entrepreneurs, and industry experts to inspire women to take bold steps towards achieving their dreams. The event themed Dream, Dare, Do as a two-day event at Eko Hotel and Suites, which commenced on the 7th of November 2024, hosting dignitaries such as the former Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, the Secretary to the State Government, Barrister Abimbola Saliu Hundeyin, the Acting Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Folashodun Shonubi, Vice-Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Folasade Ogunsola, among others. The Wimbiz Chairman Board of Trustees, Bisi Adeyemi, set the tone for the conference. She welcomed the founders, fellow trustees, partners, collaborators, and members of the press. In her speech, Adeyemi highlighted the impact of women in leadership roles and emphasized the importance of active engagement in Wimbiz projects. She encouraged attendees to make meaningful connections during the conference and to embrace the spirit of daring to dream, act, and achieve together.
It's all odds in a very tough year, as we'll all agree. They have put together a conference that I know we are very proud of. I thank all our sponsors for coming through for us again. We do not take your support for granted. Finally, I would like to express heartfelt appreciation to all the committee chairs and members who served diligently this year. I recognize Mrs. Abimbola Wright, Chair Windboard, Mrs. Folake Adama, Chair Big Sister, Mrs. Rabi Isma, Chair International Conference, Mrs. Ife Okoli, Chair Membership, and Mrs. Tayo Shisoya, Chair Advocacy, and all volunteers who served in various capacities in the course of the year. Your amazing passion and dedication contributed significantly to the impact we achieved this year. I'd like you to please give them a round of applause.
The conference chairperson, Professor Folasade Ogunsola, Vice-Chancellor of the University of Lagos, gave an inspiring keynote address. She acknowledged the founders who 23 years ago took the bold step of starting Wimbiz, urging women to step out of their comfort zones. She emphasized the need for women to rise, speak up, and take action despite the challenges.
Dare and do. It is a call to action to get out of our comfort zones and move. It is a call to add our unique value and perspectives to issues of development. It is a call to problem solving and growth. Our country needs us in all spheres of development: politics, business, management, public service, education, health, entertainment. It needs us to be present whenever decisions are being taken, ensuring that our voices are heard. Despite being 50% of the population, only few of us are present where decisions are being taken. The worst probably being politics. There are only about 6.7% women in politics, at the top of politics. But we're moving. In academia, believe it or not, of the 247 vice-chancellors, women make up only 10%. So what is holding us back? Why are more women not at the table? For many women, societal expectations can limit the size of our dreams. So for many of us, we are afraid to dream. We're afraid to dream beyond our immediate environment. We're told to aim for less, to be satisfied with small victories, and sometimes to be content by being in the background. or we need to dream beyond the boundaries that society or even we impose on ourselves.
The panel session, moderated by Chioma Afe, Director of External Affairs and Social Performance at Seplat Energy PLC, focused on the theme, Embracing a Limitless Mindset. Professor Aisha Mekudi, the youngest female professor in law and the Vice-Chancellor, University of Abuja, shared her journey of overcoming personal challenges with family support. She emphasized the importance of building a strong foundation and empowering one's children to pursue their passions independently. She spoke about the imposter syndrome and how to overcome in such an environment, while the second speaker, John Obaro, recounted a pivotal moment in his life that pushed him to improve himself. He shared the importance of resilience, self-belief, and clarity of purpose.
Do you know what an imposter syndrome is? If you want to experience that, go into the academia. You cannot just have one straight road. You need to be able to adapt to the challenges that are coming on. And when I talk about this resilience, it's not just ignoring the challenges, but facing them head on. Looking at the opportunities, looking at each disappointment or each challenge as an opportunity. If this is a challenge, what can I do to change this? So for example, we looked at the situation in my university, and my university is the only university with a federal mandate. What this means is that we have to take students and staff from every single state in the country. So it's truly reflective of Nigeria as a whole.
Yes, this is what you wrote. This is all you can write. And you say you have an MBA. He squeezed the paper and threw it in the waste bin. I mean, if the ground could open, I would have entered that day. Especially considering that there were a number of ladies at the back and a fresh guy from MBA. I went home, I cried. But then I said to myself, never again will this man be able to say this to me. I said to myself, you know, the same boiling water that softens potato is the same boiling water that hardens an egg. I will not allow this pull me down. I applied myself very well. 2 years later, I went to the man and said I wanted to resign. He looked at me, he didn't say a word. Then later I said I should see him after break.
The plenary session emphasized practical strategies for moving from dreams to actionable steps such as clarity of purpose, embracing challenges, collaboration, and execution over planning, which implies starting a thing even if your plan is not perfect yet. The event also featured a special remark by the former Vice President of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, who applauded the founders of the organization. Citing capacity building and mentorship, he emphasized the role of the elites in the society and how powerful it is to belong to such an organization, as they play a role in driving economic development and should be the voice of the voiceless.
Indeed, the visioning, the founding and continued growth of this particular organization, Wimbiz, exemplifies the theme of the conference, Dream, Dare, Do. We're here today because some dreamt, some implemented the dream, but more importantly, kept it going year after year. Some wise person said something to the effect that the best and most visionary ideas lie in cemeteries all over the world. So the chief problem is not a dream. There are many dreams and great visions. It's not even to start out the enterprise. In other words, it's not even to dare or do. The chief problem is staying power, the ability to see a matter through, the ability to see a business from start to finish. The attribute you need the most is not the will to start, it is the steadfastness to remain. It is not the capacity to dream, it is the courage to deal with the nightmares and still continue day after day. So the bottom line is resilience, the ability to execute and to see the enterprise through. So I ask the question, how can a business attain resilience?
His speech followed a business pitch segment where small and medium enterprises presented their projects for potential funding. Notable participants exclude Ofada Hub, Anne Route Marais, Smart Farm, Travel Right, to mention a few.
August 11, 2020, Law Natural was born in the heart of the pandemic. What is our mission? Our mission is to bring the farmers market to you by hydrating, detoxifying, nourishing, and keeping you hydrated. What do we do?
I was home at a point. I had back-to-back pregnancies and I couldn't work. And I woke up one day and realized that I couldn't even afford a sanitary tour. So I started to research what could I do because I was homebound and I was ill. And so I found virtual assistants. In case you don't know, a virtual assistant is a professional who renders business services remotely.
What is of greater importance is the adequate and healthy processing of locally grown rice to a point where it can be at a higher competitive advantage and compete in the international market. So what do we do at Ofada Hub? Ofada Hub is an indigenous agro-processing company that is ensuring healthy and safe processing and distribution of one of Nigeria's healthiest locally produced rice, known as Ofada rice.
During an interview with Soup News Television, Wimbiz president shared the idea behind this year's theme. John Obaro also took the chance to further encourage women in taking the right steps in life.
See in the financial sector today of having over 30% women in the as CEOs of the bank only came to reality because we had the Central Bank governor about 10 years ago take a position that in fact instilled a policy in place that there should be minimum of 30% board representation in the financial services sector. And that is coming to reality now because now the financial institutions have to be deliberate about ensuring that they empower their women, train them if they do need training, and let them have the opportunity to prove themselves. We did celebrate the female CEOs today because it's also part of our advocacy campaign. We hope to have the same replicated across all the other sectors. In Nigeria, the representation of women in the national parliament is about 6%. Then I did a research with other African countries. Senegal, Rwanda, and South Africa have over 45% women representation. Why do they have that? Take South Africa, for instance. Their electoral committee put a policy in place that for the political parties, they must have 50% equal representation of women candidates that they are going to present. So the issue of having shortage of women at the electoral level was resolved, and that's why we see over 45% representation across these other African countries that we mentioned. If we have same in Nigeria, if we have INEC take a position that there's a policy in place where even if we start with 35% representation for women candidates to be presented at the party levels, and then let them prove themselves by people voting for them, it will give them an opportunity.
Women should continue to make sure that they find their space and stay in there, fulfill their dreams, and stay at the top. Milk of kindness in women, the brilliance and the maturity and the manner they handle it are things to emulate by the other gender.
A mental limitation, and people now build barriers for themselves, which are really not there, okay? Because other people have crossed those same barriers, and if you just encourage yourself that I can do it, there are many things that women even do better, okay, than men. Someone is holding back because you don't feel competent, just encourage yourself. that many times the devil plays with our minds, and therefore you need to cross that barrier.
Attendees expressed excitement for what lies ahead, with many looking forward to networking opportunities and deeper dives into strategies for women's empowerment.
So I heard about Wimbiz from a couple of friends in the industry, the oil and gas industry. So I heard it's a cool platform to network with other women. So I'm really just here to understand what other women are doing in my industry, other industries, women in management, business and all that. And I'm here to connect with as many as possible.
And you're here as well to network because you see other fellow women, you see them achieve, you see them go, achieve bigger dreams. So what stops you as a woman? So you come, you get inspiration from Wimbiz and then go to the world and face the world head on.
So I did send in my page, and because a part of our profit also goes to the Standing Tall Charity Foundation, where we help out of school children get back into school, and also we help women living in less privileged areas to sustain their businesses and feed their household. I sent in my page, and fortunately I was chosen. And yes, I'm really grateful for this because it's going to help reduce my cost of production. It's going to help me have more funds, extra funds to help the children that we support and the women that we support. It's going to help us support our all-female team in our business, and is also going to reduce our final sales costs to our customers.
So being part of this conference, it's challenging me already because I am so inspired to see women that has made great success, in their various industries. So and I am dreaming and I'm hearing and I'm going to do to be part of those women when next we come again.
I'm actually here to connect with other great minds, great women in business, to unlearn, learn and relearn. Today I've learned and I've heard again that impossibility is absolutely nothing. So if I can dare and dream it, then I can do it. So today I'm taking home that all those dreams that I've left them sleeping, I'm going to go and reawaken them. I'm there to do them and begin to do them because I can and I will.
Grace Komalafe, Soup News Television. The street is quite low this month.